now we are going to move on to our last speed talk of the day, which is from Tom Denton. And he's going to be telling us, oh, he's already got his slide pulled up. He is ready. He's going to be telling us about BirdCLEF 2025, which is a competition to apply machine learning expertise to identify understudied species based on their acoustic signatures in Latin America. Whenever you're ready, Tom.
Yeah, so my name's Tom, as mentioned. I've been a co-host for BirdCLEF for going on 5 years at this point. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what BirdCLEF is and what's up with the current competition. So as the slide says here, BirdCLEF is really focused on domain transfer in bioacoustics. So we have this pretty common setup where you've got a lot of, say, recordings from Xeno-Canto, where somebody's often pointing an actual microphone at a particular bird and getting a relatively clear recording. And then we've got a lot of passive acoustic monitoring data that's from a microphone just attached to the side of a tree. And we would love to be able to build models that are able to learn well from these focal recordings and then tell us what's in the passive recording data sets. So that's kind of our setup every year. And every year we work with a different group somewhere in the world to produce a new fully annotated data set where experts have gone through and tried to put a label in a box on every vocalization of usually a bird in some number of hours of data. So usually these data sets are between 10 and 20 hours or thereabouts. This has actually been a really great thing for bioacoustics as a field overall in the long run, because now we've got actually a number of these fully annotated data sets that have accumulated, and we've released all of them on Zenodo. Some folks put it together into sort of a unified benchmark called BirdSet last year, which is a great thing to look at if you're interested in building really good global bioacoustic models. But yeah, so those have been accumulating. This year, we're working with the El Silencio Reserve in Colombia, and it's our first year with non-bird taxa. So it includes a number of frogs, a couple mammals, and even we managed to get some insects. This was actually a really big effort behind the scenes. It probably doesn't look a whole lot different in terms of participation in the competition. But, it involved hey, it's not just the bird folks that need to look over each recording. It also has to be the mammal folks and the frog folks and the insect folks. So all of those experts coming together to get this complete, fully annotated data set. So there's a bunch of work, but we're really excited about it because it's pretty well the first of its kind. A couple other bits. Oh yeah, one thing that I think also makes our competition kind of unique. So this year and last year, in addition to those focal recordings for training, we also include a bunch of unlabeled data from the same sites, from the same area, but without any labels. So you get some of this adaptation as kind of the core problem, but you're not allowed to see any actual labels from the area that you're trying to do your prediction in. So, and this is a really common thing. It's easy to put out microphones, end up with thousands of hours of unlabeled audio, and then ask how well can we adapt a model that's trained on things that we do have labels for to this particular area. So yeah, we're lucky enough to be able to offer $50,000 in total cash prizes. It's not just Google Cloud credits. You can have cold hard cash in your pocket if you come in and beat the competition. And we actually set aside a part of that every year for best working note. So we're attached to the CLEF conference. And so if you do a short write-up on whatever it is that you tried, you can submit that for the conference. It's pretty easy to get accepted, I'm going to say. Just, talk about the competition and you're probably going to be okay. So it's a really nice place to just try out some scientific writing next to a competition if that's the thing you're interested in. And we give $2,500 if we split that over, I think, the top two working notes, according to us. And I'll say that usually the best working note is not necessarily the highest placing competitor. So we really like to award folks that like try something interesting and give a good write-up of what they tried and how they investigated what might or might not work. Because we want to make sure that BirdCLEF is about exploration in addition to exploitation of good methods. So that's probably about that. I'll just show you the site quickly. So BirdCLEF, it looks like this. It's on this platform Kaggle. There's space for discussion where you can tell people that you're having trouble with our weird submission process, but there's lots of good examples for how to do that. And we'll help you get started. And just everything else that people's noticing. I think we've got about 1,300, we're up to almost 1,700 participants this year, which is a record for us. Yeah, so it's good stuff. If you want to try out a bioacoustic problem, we've got about a month left in the competition. So it's actually probably a good time to like try things out, see what's been tried in previous years, get an idea of how these sorts of things work. Probably still time to have a good idea, maybe even win. So yeah, hope to see you there.
Thank you so much. That is a great intro to the competition. And for anybody who is interested in learning more and also speak Spanish, our Latin America community leaders, Vanessa Reyes and Juan Sebastian Ulloa, hosted a call also about BirdCLEF competition with some Q&As. I think there was also a little bit of English mixed in there. But my question for you, Tom, is now that the competition is sort of a little bit more than halfway through, has there been anything like really surprising or exciting that you've seen sort of come through, or is it sort of everything is revealed at the end and you don't know anything about how it's been unfolding quite yet?
Yeah, so the scores have actually been pretty high. So that's kind of what we know so far. Like we're seeing last year was kind of a little bit of a slaughterhouse. Like I think our top score at the end was like 0.7 ROCAUC, or maybe not even quite 0.7, which is crazy low. And this year, I think we're up at the 0.9 range. So it's things are going pretty well in terms of actually people being pretty successful on the Colombian data set, which is really cool to see. But yeah, mostly it's at the end, folks, all is revealed in terms of who actually did the best, because we only sort of give people scores on part of the data during the competition, and then we reveal the overall scores at the end. And then people tend to have like a long forum post or some of those like formal written notes for the conference at the end. And that's kind of where we learn everything. I go through every one of those and sort of like try to pull out, like, here's the themes, like, here's the things that, it turns out 8 of the 10 top entries we're actually doing on the back end that sort of maybe help them get up to that level. And yeah, in our previous years, you can actually go and read what people were trying then and adapt a lot of methods. So yeah,
Awesome.
good
Well, I know,
area for trying stuff out and learning.
yeah, I mean, it's a really cool competition and great opportunity. And I know I'm excited to see sort of that, summary write up of what the overall themes were and what people were working on and what went well. And then we can have you back to talk about,
Yeah.
some summary of how the competition went. Thank you so much, Tom.